Hello, everybody. So here we are again for Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island from 1997. Yes, this is kind of a sequel to movie number 2. Kind of.
Partly why
Uh,
this is one of the better sequels. Again, okay, look, I'm not gonna exaggerate and say that, oh, this is a stupendous movie, even better than the original. Like, no. It's
oh,
still it's
so,
it's still a Land Before Time sequel, okay? That being said, yes, I do consider this one of the good ones. I actually
mm,
enjoyed it as a kid. I've seen reviews of it, and again, trust me, it's not one of the bad or even terrible ones here.
it's one of the least bad ones. I will give it that. Yes, there are far worse. There's far worse. It's better than the previous one, at least.
Want to
I
know
will give you
something this
that.
does? It actually retains continuity. It, for the most part, stays relatively fine with the dialogue here. Like, again, as far as Land Before Time sequel material goes, this is, I guess, the gold when you get down to it.
Okay.
Make of that
Okay.
what you
So
will.
Okay, so another thing that we will be doing, audience, for the sake of Shira, so that she doesn't have to read subtitles, there's going to be a point in this game where a specific little dinosaur is going to be talking to his parents, and it's going to be done for subtitles. So, Jova, you will be that little dinosaur that you know what I'm talking about, and I will be the parents. So let's start. You already know how this goes. Start before that stupid cartoon plane logo shit. Three, two, one, click.
I feel like they eventually got rid of this
They did,
logo.
fortunately, but they haven't yet, which means I get to complain more about it because I fucking hate this logo.
Yeah, like,
It's just a
again, some
Universal. Oh yeah, oh god! And then seriously, that thing suddenly comes out of nowhere. It's such mood whiplash.
again,
It,
Again,
go
like,
on.
okay, for as cutesy as this logo may think, don't forget this is essentially a time capsule of an era where, again, animation was seen as stuff that could only really be kiddie or whatnot. Now, yeah, we did have stuff like Ralph Bakshi, which did show that animation could be more than just kid stuff here, but unfortunately, they didn't do that. Anyway, Pedro, look, now we are doing the whole build up thing that you were missing from in the fourth film.
I don't know. I feel like they still showed the title a bit too soon. But go ahead,
I was
Judge.
gonna
Well, this
say,
one literally starts with us in space with the build up here and there, so that's
my
that's there.
my copy of the film doesn't have that logo. Mine has the regular Universal logo that debuted the year this film came out.
Oh
Is
really?
yours like a Blu-ray or something?
No,
It's
it's
a
YouTube.
YouTube
So
copy.
so
So maybe it's using the latest digital version without that.
Possibly.
probably.
Not that it matters. It's probably the same length anyway.
Oh, who's the narrator this time? He actually sounds different from movie fours.
I'm guessing the voice actor didn't return for this
Uh,
starting.
John um, John Ingle.
Oh, John Ingle. Okay. I do have a problem with something Sarah does in this movie, but I'll get to it when we get to it. My God, that T Rex is kind of off model there. Like, uh,
Would it be more off
it's time.
mismatched?
It's time for my close up. And then the. All right. So yeah, Land Before Time, Great Valley, blah 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 blah. Okay. Dinosaurs of many kinds. Blah blah blah. Blah. Sure.
a thought that just came to mind.
Mhm.
It's interesting because Don Bluth movies getting sequels. This one's gotten 14 so far,
Yeah.
and yet
Yep.
Secret of Nim only got one.
Well, to be fair, look, Dwibs. What the sequels to Secret of Nim lack in quantity, they make up for in quality of how terrible that sequel is.
Anti-quality.
Let me put it like this.
And that's the thing. That was 1998. You know, the boom of direct-to-video/DVD sequels was still pretty high. So it had to have been really bad to not get another one.
Oh, by the way, Shira, you were quite to point out how only 18 minutes into the last movie we went into a song. Guess what? It's going to be like 25 or so minutes before we get a song in this
Oh,
one.
so the halfway point, roughly.
Okay.
Almost.
So let me put it like this, Dwibs. For as bad as the Land Before Time movies get, I would argue even at their worst, you'd have to compile a few of the worst ones together to match just how bad Secret of Nim 2 is.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Secret of Nim 2 is a movie where like the only legit entertaining thing is Eric Idle, and he isn't there till the third act.
And even
Yeah,
still, it's the context of his character. But yes, the characters here are a bit hungry because food is becoming a bit harder to get, per se.
Mr. Clubtail.
Well, get it? He literally has a club tail.
Huh,
Yeah.
lack of food. Is this the beginning of the end of the dinosaurs?
Not to mention, we kind of already did the whole lack of food thing in movie 3.
Well, kind of. This will be continuing something, but I won't get ahead of the movie on that, so we'll get to that later.
Sure. Okay. That was unnecessary, Littlefoot.
Boy, please! I nearly died in the last movie.
Yeah, it doesn't become a problem in this movie, but consider that foreshadowing for what's to come, because the more these movies go on, the more Littlefoot becomes cockier and kind of a jerk, and the story even gets to a point where they start become a full-on Gary Stu at some points.
Like, you know, at least in this one, he does acknowledge how he was out of line, pretty much getting mad at him for that.
Sure. Yeah, in this movie, yes, but keep that in mind for later movies, because unfortunately, it will not always be like that.
Something about the director of this film, and the guy by the name of Charles Grosvenor. This is the first film he of the series that he
Oh,
directed.
God!
And he would go on to be the director for most of the films up until 12, and he would only be a producer for 13. For the rest of his career, he's been mainly a storyboard artist or layout artist for things like the 1982 Pac-Man cartoon, the new Scooby and Scrappy-Doo show, and more recently, stuff like Doc McStuffins.
And now it becomes a swarm.
And now suddenly a swarm. Well, shit.
Damn, I guess the extinction of the dinosaurs is coming a lot earlier than I thought.
Well, no, not quite the extinction, but this is something that was not entirely kind of foreshadowed in a bit. Again, I'll get to it when the main, what happens kicks in.
This brings up a good point, though. By the time we get to movies like movie 7 or 11, like, it really gets to a point where you're just wishing for that goddamn meteor to finally get here and kill everybody.
That's how this franchise is going to end.
What's taking you so long?
Pedro, when you get that...
Siri, I said that in the last video.
Oh.
Go on, Jova.
That's the thing, though, Pedro. The meteor technically does come in movie 7.
Oh.
Yes! Oh!
For later.
Wow.
So, Jova, how come there's 7 more movies after that?
You'll see. You'll see.
The comet just scrapes the earth.
God,
and then...
don't tell me 8 or 9 or something involves freaking time travel.
Eventually, Alpha and Omega got to a point where we literally have rave parties with lights and everything. So
and a dinosaur in it. Don't forget there were dinosaurs in that movie.
Trust me, the more a series goes on, the more absurd it can get.
So
like, literally, the only thing separating this film series apart from, like, say, Swan Princess is that they've all still been 2D.
So yeah,
14 was still in 2D.
So anyway, back to the movie. So yeah, we have a problem. The Great Valley has pretty much been depleted.
Oh, hold on. I want to point this out here. Hold on. Okay, so Topsy is actually being cooperative. Remember, he learned in movie 3 that we must not, stay like this, angry at each other, undivided, and blah, 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 blah. So, okay, that's cool. Let's see if he keeps this up.
He's going to forget it like movie 6 or something.
I think that's the thing about this movie. This movie does ignite hope that these sequels will get better. The problem is that, well, the other sequels... Okay, some are good. But yeah, here's the thing. We have to do something big. The land that was thought to be pretty much, the promised land is no more. We have to move again. Which is something that was kind of foreshadowed in movie 4, essentially, about how the lands are changing, with new species here coming in there, making certain lands inhabitable for the old herds of dinosaurs here and there. So I actually do appreciate how this movie does actually feel like it is capitalizing on that.
Well, this film series is called The Land Before Time. I'm guessing we're going to get now to The Land After Time.
My problem, Joe, is that it contradicts the final narration of the first movie, because the final narration of the first movie establishes that they all grew up together in the valley, telling their story to their children and blah, blah, blah.
Well, you see, Pedro, it turns out that the valley that they grew up in is the Great Valley next door here. So technically, it still is a Great Valley, of course.
Of course, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How did I not know?
They left the S out.
Okay. As much as that does stink, I'll admit I'm not as annoyed by that, because that's like one last line in a movie that was that old that obviously they didn't expect sequels to come, so it doesn't bug me as much. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other retcons that do bug me a lot more in later movies, but we'll get to those when we get to them.
So this movie apparently was given an A by Entertainment Weekly, who praised the first-class orchestral score and its tail-thumping songs.
Entertainment Weekly. Dibs, I refer you to that Family Guy Season 1 clip, where Peter's out of toilet paper, he finds Entertainment Weekly. Well, that's one problem solved. There you go. That clip pretty much shows you what I think of that.
Not a fan of Entertainment Weekly, I take it.
No, I am not.
Hey, taking a bit of inspiration from Fantasia.
From the day we arrived on the planet.
That was the last movie.
This movie is not ripping off Lion King. Thank you.
To give credit, yeah, it makes sense, because remember, the original pitch by Don Bluth to Spielberg was indeed to actually turn that segment from Fantasia into a full-blown movie. Unfortunately, Spielberg and Lucas were concerned that the movie would be a bit too dark for kids, which is why he was forced to tone it down. But
I can actually appreciate that this movie does, again, out of a lot of the sequels, this movie feels like the one that, aside from the whole having to move to a valley thing, does feel...
I want to bring this up. Yeah, notice another thing that Top Show also pointed out. Yeah, notice the movement of the legs of the dinosaurs in this sequence, because this is where the animators start getting sloppy. Because usually there's always a pattern of back leg, front leg, back leg, front leg. However, this is the movie where it starts to get to a point where all 4 legs are moving simultaneously, which doesn't make any sense. So yeah, like Bob said, you're getting sloppy, animators. Go on, Jova.
Oh,
Go on.
It is, again, I do appreciate how I'll pretty much, okay, out of all the sequels aside from 2, this is the movie that feels the most like it is trying to continue the overall tone and nature of the original film. And again, to the fact where it even goes back to an old idea concept that Don Bluth even had, I can appreciate it for that.
Sure. I don't particularly care for some other stuff that it does, but again, I'll get to it as we get further.
Oh yeah, look, like I said, it's still a Land Before Time sequel. It's gonna have problems, but I still would argue that this film is at worst fine.
Sure. Also, so while we're talking about continuity, how about also implementing the bully characters from movie 3 as well as this? Oh, there we go. No, that is not what he said.
At all. No, you're
That's not at
protecting.
all.
Okay, I can kind of get this in the sense that they're kind of getting a little testy given the fact that they've gone all this way, no food, no water, so yeah, people are gonna get antsy. I mean, it's not like a certain movie where they pretty much...
Oh, for now on, it's everyone by himself. Oh, so much for the whole togetherness lesson he learned in the 3rd movie. So
Also, you really think that's a smart idea? Really?
Again, Shiroi, they're stranded on the desert, no food, no water, they're probably not thinking straight.
Yeah, now that's a retcon that's just plain like, okay, so basically what you're saying is that he didn't really learn anything from movie 3. Thanks, movie.
Again, I wouldn't say that's a retcon, I'd say that's just a more about of the desert getting to them in that regard.
Because he seemed like he was iffy, but he wasn't like terrible at the start of this when they were first talking about this stuff. But yeah, I think Jova might be right.
Yeah.
He's still a dick, though.
Especially given how they do reconcile by the end anyway. Again, now don't worry, Pedro. There's another film where that criticism is legit, though.
Oh, yeah, no, trust me. I realize that. It's just that, I don't know, I'm just getting tired of the characters constantly entering into conflict with each other for reasons that don't really add to anything, in my opinion.
I give this some credit in that it at least comes up with a situation that makes sense why they would come in conflict. In fact, this conflict is what kind of urges the kids to try and find a land so that their parents can get along together better. And trust me, it's a lot better than the trouble that the puppets and Alpha and Omega get into. Like, you know, at least at this point in the movie, whenever the kids get into trouble, it is for legit good intentions. You know, and you know...
You told us to disobey your authority, Mom and Dad.
Oh, God, don't remind... You know what? We are going to have to show Shiroi those movies at some point.
Oh, yeah, totally.
What movies?
The Alpha and Omega movies. AKA...
do I have to?
Yes.
They're very beloved in the furry community. So
I've watched like video dissections on them. I don't need to watch them.
Yeah, actually, on the subject of direct-to-video films that started off as a theatrical one,
yes.
after we've done these, since I think Jova was doing Alpha and Omega, and your pick was these films, Pedro. Can I go next with the Marine?
Was I really the one who even picked Alpha and Omega? Wait, hold on. I wasn't necessarily the one going with Alpha and Omega.
Wait. How many Marine movies are there, Dwibs?
6.
Wait, there's 6 of those? I thought it was just one.
Anyway,
no, there were 6.
In terms of Alpha and Omega Dribs, that was more so just a case of us occasionally finding time for them. I don't recall me particularly being in charge of those movies, though.
Yeah, basically, Paige, so the first one was a theatrical release. The other 5 were released straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sure.
So, let me guess. First film was great. Movies after that, not so much.
Actually, Jova, no.
The first movie was actually a lot of fun.
Well, that's what I said. The first movie was great, but the sequels, not so much.
Yeah, the first one was fun. Although there are some decent ones among the direct-to-DVD variety.
See, here's the thing, and this is a common problem with every sequel, even the better ones. That because the plots are not all that substantial, they need to constantly have the scenes go on for longer than they need to.
I would argue this one's plot does warrant its length, but I will also admit that yes, there are some bits where sometimes it does feel like we're just standing around here and there.
Are you sure about that, Petrie? Oh boy. You know what song is coming, right, Jova?
Is it the Mirage song?
No.
Believe it or not, Webs, the song that we're about to hear is actually a song that even gets brought back as a reprise in a later movie. Apparently, the songwriters thought this song was just such a stellar hit that they felt it was worth bringing back in a later movie. So it's interesting because I can tell you it's definitely not something worth bringing it back like any of these songs. Yeah. This is their first introduction to saltwater.
Oh. I thought it was going to turn out the water was a mirage. One enforced by the heats of the sun.
Sure. Come on, Spike, don't drink that.
It's Spike,
He
of
did.
course he
The
was
salt
gonna
water
drink
is
it.
not healthy.
Surf's up! Mother Nature don't care, Petrie.
Well, I guess we've done all we can. Let's go back. Okay, movie over. Okay, so that was Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island.
Whoa, Pedro. Hands off the trigger there.
But this trigger is just looking so tantalizing right now,
Pedro,
Jova.
it's not over until we hear the Littlefoot's mother's death tune. I know it has a name, but most people just know it as the death tune for Littlefoot's mother.
Yeah, it's basically the leitmotif, so... I think it's now that they start singing, I think.
Come on, the script says sad, Spike.
I don't think that's gonna work, Petrie.
No, there, we can platform over there. See?
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Okay, sure.
Wait, so is this a mirage or isn't it?
Sure.
I've found Before Time ever got the video game.
I want to say yes, but sure. I mean, of course it's like that. Let's see, Land Before Time video game.
You see,
yes, there's actually several Land Before Time video games.
Yeah, there were. You see, kids, this is why you should stick with the grown-ups.
By the way, there's actually literally a movie called The Land Before Time Big Water Adventure. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Sorry, that's the name of the PS2 game. There's a movie called Journey to Big Water.
Journey to Big Water, yes. That's the that's the dinosaur's name for the ocean, Big Water.
Fair enough. Again, at least they're not giving stuff by its proper name, which they shouldn't know.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be an issue for Clubtail, though? Because they'd have to know what a club looks like?
That's the thing, sure. In the later movie,
club is prehistoric enough a term.
That's the thing, Shiroi. No, Jova's right. I have a bigger concern with that regarding that, Shiroi. In the later movie, Littlefoot is going to have a nightmare, and he calls it, and I quote, "Oh, it was just a sleep story. A sleep story." But in after that they say the word dream. So which is it? Is it sleep story or is it dream? I don't care which. Just pick one.
Maybe they invented the terminology of the dream.
Yes, of course. You see, Shiro, the word dream was actually invented by dinosaurs, not by man.
Of course.
Okay.
Huh.
You're all gonna die.
I guess it's later then.
At least we'll die with full stomachs.
No, you won't.
Sure,
Okay,
there's
so-
food everywhere.
Sure there is.
We're nearly at the point where we're gonna. Okay, and the reason I think you're just a fan of that character that we're about to meet, aren't you? That's what this is about, right, Jova?
Honestly, no, aside from that, I do consider this legit a fine movie. I mean, I pretty much have made my points here. Like, I mean, yeah, it's not the best, but it gave us a solid enough conflict to get us to this point. The characters are more or less been acting consistent with how they're meant to be here and there. And again, this is a movie that honestly at least seems to have its tone under its belt, well-fashioned. That, and they're not doing those stupid pop culture references like movie 4 did.
Although, to be honest, Jova, at least from what I've been seeing in this movie so far, it's not as bad as the last one, but it's still below the par of some of the better direct-to-DVD Disney sequels.
Oh yeah, that goes without
Wow,
saying.
yeah, no duh. That's
Again, yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to compare this to theatrical movies or anything because that would be unfair. I'm instead just comparing it to other direct-to-DVD films of the ilk.
Oh wait.
Oh crud!
in
There
mind-
go
okay,
their
okay,
tracks.
Keep in mind, I don't watch this movie often for obvious reasons. So. Yeah. Wow.
Politics and
Oh,
that's
God.
wait, Pedro. You didn't tell me that dinosaurs invented politics as well.
Not just that, Jova. He literally just basically said, "Gotta blame somebody, otherwise it's my fault."
I love
Honestly, Pedro, it's a pretty modern parenting mentality.
Like,
Yeah.
Understand my difference, Shiro. See, the thing is, Shiro, the character that I hate the most in the first Life is Strange, as well as Jova, one of her most iconic lines that people mention why she's a bitch is that, oh, you can't just blame everybody for your problems constantly. We gotta blame somebody, otherwise it's my fault. I'm not kidding, that's an actual line in the game.
honestly.
I appreciate her honesty, but no, hun,
You
no.
know, that's the thing, guys. I mean, yeah, there's been times where me and where when it comes to like me versus the rest of you, we have disagreements. But at the very least, even if you disagree, I at least try to provide reasons. This
Sure.
grown adult is pathetic.
This is it.
You know, I love that look that Topsy gave. It's almost like he had about a self-realization going about, maybe I am really that big an asshole.
27 minutes in. Wow. But,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll admit, I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for this song. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. This song by no means deserves any Oscars,
And it's pointless. The entire point of this song is to say how, the ocean is big and dangerous, and that's it. That's all the song is saying. This song is nothing but filler.
I don't know why, it's just the song is weirdly catchy. I mean, again.
But clearly the songwriters agree with you because they reused this in a later movie.
Again, I'm not gonna act like this song is good, but I can't get mad at this song. Something about me finds it weirdly entrancing.
Sure. It's better than
I'm guessing it's the instrumental rather than the lyrics.
The instrumentals definitely do help because, okay, yeah, you know, I think another thing I'll give this movie here.
John Carpenter's The Thing? What?
You know, I'll give this movie credit. It has a much better score than the last movie as well, and doesn't seem to rely nearly as much on, older movies as scores as.
That's the thing,
the
Joe.
other
It's from
ones
the same
did.
guy, Michael Tavera.
Yeah, Michael
What?
Tavera. Yeah.
Oh,
But
Also,
Those are the
Pedro,
previous
like,
ones.
there are some proper eldritch abominations in the ocean.
true, yeah.
Oh, I get that. It's just that.
Some people argue
on.
that we still know more about space than we do what's in apparently the deepest reaches of the ocean.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. We know you hit the sun, but what about big water? Do you hate that big water?
Wait.
Wait, what about the what you cut out?
The big water. Do you hate big water as well?
I'm actually fine with the ocean. Or big water. They don't know what
It's
ocean is.
not ocean, Shira. It's excuse me, Shira. It's actually big water. Big.
Ugh.
Come on, Shira. Sing with me.
Anyway,
Big water. Go on, Shira. Sing it.
anyway,
Big waste of 3 minutes. Go
The
on.
dinosaurs are kept singing the song.
Go on, Joe, go on.
To the big water.
it's funny you mentioned Shuri hating the sun. She'll probably love Rock-a-Doodle then.
Oh, goody.
Since that literally has a song called We Hate the Sun.
We hate the sun. That much
Much
we
we
know.
know.
Well, I mean, it is a shitty newspaper, to be fair.
So yeah. For as hilariously bad as it was, yeah, like she always said, that song was a complete waste of 3 minutes.
So now we have...
Sure. Well, sure. We gotta reach 1 hour and 13 minutes somehow. So,
No, we don't. This could have been an hour.
Go on, Jova.
Again, I don't hate that song, so I'm fine with it, but yeah, that song was kind of a big lipped alligator moment.
What are
That
you talking
being
about, Jova? That song is a hit. Clearly, it's gonna be brought back. So clearly, that song is what these sequels call a hit.
So yes, we're making it off the island.
They weren't on it very long, though, were they?
Well, that was surprisingly easy. Okay, and that was the end of the movie.
And that is how Sarah discovered the concept of seasickness.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the so-called mysterious island. You know, what the film's named after.
Spike.
Well, remember, this is kind of Spike's thing anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh dear.
I have a question. Why can't Spike? Why is Spike mute again? Didn't he supposedly finally start talking in the prison?
Pedro, as we mentioned in movie 4, he'll talk when he wants to.
Ugh.
What?
This is actually a thing, to be fair. There were some carnivorous aquatic dinosaurs.
Yep. In fact, there was literally a prehistoric shark known as the Megalodon.
Mm-hmm.
Well. Fresh tsundere on the menu.
Tsundere. Oh, God, I am leaving this restaurant.
Funny, because he plays a tsundere in one of our playthroughs.
Which one?
Yeah, that's
Because,
the thing. That's the thing, though, Joe.
There's multiple, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, Joe. That ski was at least one of the few entertaining kinds of tsunderes.
Joe, but he also played Aaron in Fair Seraph, who's tsundere as fuck for Fang. So
Yeah. That was because the only real difference was one I
to
at
me
least
is
got
actually a
to
good character.
yeah. Plus one I at least got to put my own voice to, put my own spin on it because Natsuki doesn't have a voice. Whereas the other time I was just trying to do an Erica Mendes impression in full.
Yeah, this sequence goes on for a while.
It does, I guess, help show the stakes, so yeah.
Are we going to be spending more time here than on the supposed mysterious island?
Actually, James, we're literally rocketing back to the mysterious island. Lando!
Which basically means that this entire sequence of the log was basically just filler.
Well,
Again?
not necessarily. It was an attempt to get off the island.
I guess, but
So this is basically Lost Dinosaur Edition.
there were more efficient ways of doing it, I will argue. Oh boy.
Okay, that one was funny.
Okay, Jova, remind me, at what point in the movie do they bust out the I Miss My Mom song?
I think that's in a different movie.
No, well, we'll get to it. Because I do remember at least that. Go on.
When it comes to generic crap kids movie songs, wait till we get to Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Okay, that's another movie I have a soft spot for.
It's an interesting collaboration between the UK and the US on that front. Yeah.
Well,
I
there you go,
know,
Blips, if you
considering
ever-
how they get the narrator from the American version of a show as Mr. Conductor.
Yes, Pedro?
So there you go. Next time you go to if you ever go to a beach again, be sure to when you get to be sure to start saying big, 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 big water. It's dangerous and scarious and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that'll be a great way to scare everyone off the
Oh,
beach.
maybe we
I
are
can
about to get it.
Yeah, basically, they're now starting to regret leaving the grown-ups, and they all start singing. Guess take this shit right. They all start singing about how they really miss their moms. Guys, there's one. You probably should pick a different topic, considering a certain dinosaur in your group.
Oh shoot! Did Littlefoot ever tell them?
He did. Well, okay, no, okay. Maybe he didn't, but he's about to anyway.
Yeah, cause
Yes.
that's the thing. He only met Ducky and Sarah after his mom died, and
Hey,
like
okay.
Okay, Sarah's at least talking about her dad. Like,
True,
Yeah. Well, remember, she doesn't have a mom to talk about anyway, because her mom, for some reason, disappeared in between movie one and the others.
Wait, was her mom in the first movie?
Yes, in the first movie, we see Sarah's mom. She doesn't have any lines, but she's there briefly. But for whatever reason, she just disappeared in between movies. I guess Topsy divorced or something. I don't know. Like,
Okay. I guess to be fair, we can consider it them just talking about parental figures. In which case, Littlefoot does have Grandpa and Grandma Longneck.
Oh boy, I can't wait for Dinosaur Divorce Court.
that's the thing, Joe. But this is going to be the first time ever in the sequels where they actually acknowledge Littlefoot's mom. Right here.
Yeah. Like I said, actually, out of all the sequels, this is arguably one of the ones that feels the more connected to the original. Because, yeah, almost a lot of other sequels kind of seem to forget the fact that Littlefoot, had a mother.
Well, technically, movie 10, brings that back as well by
hence why I said
of its father.
Well, hence why I said that this is one of the sequels that feels the most connected to the original.
Sure.
In that sense.
What's whose character's mother? Sorry,
Littlefoot's mother.
mom, who died in the first movie.
Again, like I honestly can appreciate this movie. Like this movie feels like the one, ironically, with the most effort to try and retain the qualities from the original one. Dodgy animation errors here and there aside, writing-wise, it's definitely one of the better ones.
it at least seems to respect the original movie, like far more so than the others.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
it's not as loud and annoying as the last one. I'll give it that. It's unfortunate. The biggest problem I have with this film is all the padding.
My problem is that, again, the somber kind of dark tone of the original is still completely gone. I still firmly hold my sense that Land Before Time movie should not have songs, period.
Even though,
I understand that.
didn't the original one have a song too? I mean, I know it was in the
in the credits, but it wasn't a musical. That's what I mean. Like the original movie was not a musical, so I still am against the sequels being musicals.
And that's the thing. Can we really call them musicals when they have like such a small ratio of songs to actual screen time?
Well, shit. Now what?
Oh shit! I was sleeping.
The herring. That shadow stayed for way too long for it to be convincing. Clearly, the movie's picking us up right now.
And this is going to be the old friend, I guess.
Very good, Shiro. You get a gold star.
But which old friend, Shiroi?
The one from a few movies back, I don't care to remember.
Come on, Boo.
I mean, it was effective. Hit, but effective.
Well, crap. Oh, it's okay. I saw this in Beyond Two Souls. Just climb the thing.
Hey, you're fine. You can fly.
And... there we go. It's Chomper for movie 2.
Back by popular demand. And yes, Chomper actually was one of the more popular side characters. And this actually won't be the last time we see Chomper. He'll be back in the television series, and he'll be back in the final movie, too.
Final movie?
The 14th one.
There's gonna be more, though, right?
Well, not
We
that we
don't
know
know.
of so far. Not that we know.
Okay,
of.
that's some good news.
Let me just put it like this. I feel like 14 would be a good movie to end on things because, well, surprisingly, it was actually a good movie, so just let it end there. Huh. That's a
Thank
good.
you, Spike.
Yeah, that was a good interpretation of a predator.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna make a Predator
Chomper
joke.
has grown up enough to the point where he can now talk properly.
Which again begs the question: if Chomper has clearly aged, how come our main characters haven't aged?
It's the Simpsons curse all over again, where characters around the main characters age up, but the actual characters don't. Granted, at least Simpsons came up with the gag that supposedly the studio's giving them anti-aging drugs so that they stay their particular ages while everyone else around them grows up.
It still doesn't explain what the fuck is going on with Alpha and Omega, though.
Wait, hold on. Were people growing older around the main characters in Alpha and Omega?
Well, I don't know about that, but the pups definitely don't age.
Well, nobody seems to age in them ever since movie 2. Well, I
And
guess
Spirit Riding Free.
You've done commentaries of those movies, haven't you?
Yeah. And Spirit Riding Free, nobody ages either.
hence why you're getting included in the Generations run of Alpha and Omega, Shiroi.
At least it might be funny.
I love.
Yes!
And remember, Joe, in Spirit Riding Free, the teacher. You don't know what cooking is, Sarah. Stop saying cooking terms. But anyway. Yeah, right now. Mommy's angry. You had us worried sick, Chomper. Come to dinner.
I wonder what... Can I bring some friends with me?
Huh? Sure, we could use some dessert. That's the funniest joke in the movie. There you go. And then come from the bloody T-Rexes. Hey, what's that? Smells like
Dinner?
long neck.
Ooh, his favorite.
Extra meaty because of the neck.
That was me. I burped. I had long neck for breakfast.
Huh.
And they believe it.
Come along now, son. Okay. Good.
Be there in a minute.
There you go. Okay, I do appreciate that like Jova was saying, I do appreciate that they retain the moral of movie 2, that T-Rexes aren't as different from other dinosaurs as we've been made to believe up until this point. You know? So yeah, I do appreciate that at least.
Yeah, like, again, it would have been so easy for a sequel, especially in this series, to throw out that message, but no. This movie does seem to retain, for the most part, stuff that has been learned, essentially. And while the friends do have their doubts at first about Chomper, at least they can see that he's not about eating them. Unfortunately, there's this guy here.
Not just that, and I also don't particularly like what one of the things that Sarah says later, but we'll see.
She's not so different from her dad, I guess.
Yes, unfortunately, Shiroi, yes.
I mean, that happens, but yeah, it's...
Parental upbringing.
Well, hopefully, Tria. Don't worry, Joe. I'm sure Tria will. I'm not getting you, Shiroi. Believe it or not, Sarah's gonna get a stepmother later on. But even though we have yet to explain what the bloody hell happened to the mother. Where the
She died
hell
on
is Sarah's
screen.
mother? Explain where Sarah's mother.
Well,
Hashtag where's Sarah's mom.
Well, I just put up my interpretation of how it went down in the chat.
What, Disney?
No, the picture I just made up in like 5 minutes.
But those are, but those aren't Sarah's parents.
Well,
Still,
I looked up her parents by name.
Fair enough.
Well, whatever.
It's close enough, isn't it?
Actually, Ducky, I don't think he wants to save you. I think he wants something else from you. Yeah.
We look out for our meals here.
Yeah, we give our meals equal opportunity to be tasty. I mean, yeah.
Remember,
shit, again, to quote Shrek 1, shit, I'm looking down!
To retain continuity, yes, Sarah has an issue with heights.
Well, in these movies, there's always someone who has a trouble with heights.
I feel like Sarah's the one who's most consistently had that issue with the bunch.
No. Okay, I should have rephrased that better. In kids' movies, like this, there's always someone who's afraid of heights whenever they have to cross something.
It's a very relatable fear.
Sure.
She's taking the air travel.
Hey, yeah, fuck off, Sarah. How about getting some evidence before you accuse somebody of something?
Especially since he was the one walking in front and you saw him the whole time.
Yeah.
Remember, the lesson that our main characters were supposed to learn in the second movie was that T-Rexes aren't so different from them after all.
Ooh. Literally biting the talon that feeds you.
Oh, how convenient.
You literally fell into their lap. Literally.
Yes. At least there's thankfully apologizing.
To paraphrase, as we usually say here in my country, less apology making, more apology avoiding.
It's interesting because, like, I understand, like, okay, Sarah's comments were unwarranted in this case, but I can understand her being at least scared because, yeah, I mean, this is a movie about, talking cartoon dinosaurs, but they still seem to keep, various dietary requirements intact. And unfortunately, yeah, our food. Like,
I love that. I love that. By the way, I call this the stinky place. I'm incredibly uncreative when coming up with names.
Okay, and I guess to Sarah's credit, for all they know, Chomper may have gotten some new parenting from his parents on what to eat, seeing as how it has been a while since they last saw him. So I'm not gonna say she was in the right. I do get why she was nervous about that at first.
Also, you could see because they had like a close-up of Chomper's eyes when he first saw them. Until he realized who they were, he was fully intent on eating them. Like...
Yeah, kind of awkward.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, Shui, because the upcoming song we're going to get now is called Having Friends for Dinner.
Having friends for dinner or having them over for dinner?
Both.
Yes.
Well, let's see. Okay, you don't. Okay, that's it. He. That was okay. The joke worked. You don't need to turn it into a song movie. So please calm down. Don't turn it into a song movie. Movie.
Hey, Pedro. He's the popular character. Of course, he was gonna get a song.
Okay, but
I don't know. It's kind of funny.
I'm okay with Chomper getting a song, but can you get a better one?
I mean, again, it's kind of like Big Water. There's just something about this soundtrack that's so unabashedly cheesy, but totally living with it that I kind of have to admire this movie's honesty in that regard. Like, yeah, we know we're cheesy, but hey, at least we'll try and be heartwarming about it. It doesn't feel cynical like a certain other Land Before Time movie that literally has everyone except for the famous singer sing.
There you go, Shiro. See, he just wants to have friends for dinner.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it didn't erupt into a giant misunderstanding. Like, no, like this time they at least got a laugh out of it. Like, okay, if it had gone to them thinking, oh, he's gonna eat us for sure, yeah, then I would have been annoyed. But thankfully not.
I don't know. I like the song in that how ridiculous it is.
Pretty much. It's kind of like how I am with Big Water. Like, honestly, I think that describes this movie as a whole. Warts and all, I just...
This one.
Our son's a vegetarian.
Sometimes I worry about that.
Again. Okay. Now I think I'm remembering why I like this movie. The T-Rexes are freaking hilarious in this movie.
They're funnier than our main characters, to be honest with you. Are we even needed here? The movie's doing a good job making fun of itself.
What is with that YouTube thumbnail layout right there?
Well, he tried it at least. And honestly, Chomper, a lot of people nowadays would agree with you that meat is better than vegetables.
Okay, we get it. Can we end the song now? Thank you.
Yep, there you go.
There you go, Pedro. Your wish was granted.
I just don't want songs in my Land Before Time movie.
Honestly, I just kind of know they're gonna be an inevitability, so I kind of get it. And look,
Well,
he came through.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though, Jimmy. This is another thing of that I've seen of these Don Bluth direct-to-DVD sequels.
Yes.
Is especially the ones where their first films didn't have musical numbers in them. It's the weird addition of musical numbers in their sequels. Like there's this, and then there's Secret Inning 2.
Yeah.
Although All Dogs Go to Heaven did have songs, the first and second.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did say songs where they originally didn't have them.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I only have a problem when the sequels do when the original didn't, because it contradicts the style of that Don Bluth set for the first one.
That said, though, how about
I want to comment on this scene.
like it's all nice to see him and all, but know that he's gonna have to grow up with the dietary necessitations of eating people like you.
Like, he may not eat you guys specifically, but he's going to eat, like, others like you.
Oh, did you hear her? He doesn't have a feeling. He doesn't have feelings. He's a sharp tooth. Well, Sarah's racist. Fuck you. Like,
No, she's actually worse than the ones in the last movie. Jesus
seriously.
Christ.
She literally just told us that, oh, he's a sharp tooth. He doesn't have feelings. Fuck you. I thought you were supposed to learn better by this point.
Yeah, okay. I do like this movie, but I'll admit that one line was just Sarah going way too out of far and kind of out of nowhere for some reason.
Oh, God.
I like this one, actually. Wait for the punchline. Of Chomper's family, they're way better than the main characters at this point.
It's just like it's just like I said with The Good Dinosaur. More dinosaur movies should focus on T-Rexes as the protagonists. There's a lot of potential there.
So far, this would make a great sitcom. It's Chomper's family.
You have, like, the one T-Rex family living in a community of herbivores.
Well,
Like,
Sure. Have you ever seen Jim Henson's Dinosaur?
is that, like, the really old movie about the walking dinosaurs?
No. It's a sit. Oh,
Is that the dinosaur sitcom?
Oh, no, that's a Disney movie, isn't it? I'm thinking of. Never mind.
it's not. No, you're thinking of the Disney movie. I'm talking about Jim
Yeah.
Henson.
No, I haven't.
Are you talking about
hold on.
the show with the dinosaurs and?
Yes, as a sitcom. Yeah, that show was great. To get the idea, show the intro is great because it shows the point of view of the dinosaur, making him look like super scary.
Yeah.
And then suddenly shows them with clothes and running the door. Honey, I'm home.
That one predator dinosaur has really bad luck mistaking mistaking vegetables for meat and accidentally getting a mouthful of veggies.
No, I think it was to reveal where they were, basically, take away their hiding.
Oh, I know, but he ended up swallowing it, and he clearly did not like that, just like before.
Taking into account that our main characters are nowhere near as interesting as they were in the first movie, especially Sarah. Can we just follow the Chomper family from this point on? They're way better characters at this point.
I would not entirely mind that. In fact, if anything, who says we have to focus on this cast of main characters for all the sequels? Maybe change things up a bit. Again, keep in mind, the reason Chomper came back was because he was arguably one of the most popular characters. I guess it probably helped that he came from what was at the time the best of the sequels anyway. But no, like, Chopper actually did develop a fan base, and like I mentioned, this isn't even the last we'll see of him. He became a regular cast member in the TV series, and again, we'll see him back with a character who originated from the TV series who debuts in the movies in the final movie.
So yeah, Shira, like you were saying earlier, Sarah is definitely her father's daughter.
It's such a weird and out of nowhere line, too. Like, I get that Sarah was having issues trusting Chomper. That I get. But her going as far to say that he has no feelings, that just feels like a weird and out there line.
These movies constantly, for some reason, these sequels love to constantly be as redundant as fuck by constantly bringing back the "don't be racist" message. We've gone through this. Stop hammering this down our throats.
So what'll
We've
it
done
be?
this much better in the first movie.
So what'll it be? Swimming Sharptooth or land Sharptooth?
In fact, this could be a contest throughout these sequels that we're watching. Like, how much further can they ram this message down our throats?
Okay, again, to give this movie credit, this one doesn't do it nearly as much. Yes, Sarah's outburst about him not having feelings is dumb, but that's like, well, the one blatantly racist thing, really. Otherwise, you know, she does have some issues here and there, but otherwise it's kind of on the basis that he's kind of growing up and, well, he's developed more of a taste for meat than vegetables. Oh, speaking of which, redemption time.
The problem is that it just doesn't feel earned. For that line, you needed much stronger redemption than
Again, that guy just has terrible luck with what ends up in his mouth today.
Not just that. Not just that. Talk about delayed reaction.
Pedro, he was literally crying while he had his tail in his teeth.
Sure. And Chomper's parents to the rescue.
That's our food, douchebag.
And you know, that is our son you're messing with. So... Oh, a wise guy. Yeah, you get literally chomped on. Oh, snap! Blood!
Actual blood.
About this being as dark as the original. Well, there you go.
Well, just one frame of blood isn't suddenly going to turn this into...
Well, okay.
Okay, 2. Go on.
Shoot, man, this movie's kind of hardcore by kids' movie standards. I wonder what kind of dinosaur this one is. He's definitely not a T-Rex since this one has 3 claws instead of 2. Oh, snap!
And Chomper dies. Well, crap.
What to do?
Littlefoot.
I'm sure he has a plan.
Does he?
He must, otherwise he's doomed himself.
Yeah, you probably should have sent Ducky.
Ducky's way too small to carry Chomper. There's kind of a flaw in that plan. Bye!
The current also has delayed reaction syndrome.
The currents from the island pull the dinosaur under.
Well, crap.
You don't sound very scared, though.
Turns out, this dinosaur helps them. Oh, and by the way, Drebs, guess what this character's name is?
Mother?
Well, actually, let me double check real quick just to make sure I get it right. Because now that I think about it, it probably is something else. Hold on.
Okay, well, I guess Sarah really has become progressive, even hugging a full-grown T-Rex. Thank you, Elsie.
Yeah, her name is Elsie. So interesting, and yeah, she's played by a British actress. So it does make you wonder. Hold on. Don't worry, you're safe with us.
Aww.
Don't worry, we won't eat you. Anything that smells like that couldn't taste very good anyway.
Seriously! Every line with them is just so perfect.
Again, why can't we just follow these characters?
I know, right?
Again, just make this a T-Rex sitcom. Son, have you been gathering greens again?
So now we're all family. Might you?
So what's this character's name?
Elsie, she literally mentioned that.
There you go. Christina Pickles. From Yorkshire. Oh, she was in the Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, neat.
We will always be your friends.
Don't
Oh,
worry,
wait, sorry,
Chomper, we'll get to meet again, because you're one of the popular side characters.
Yeah, just give it like 9 movies in a TV show.
Yeah. And hey, more character development for the T-Rexes. That's a plus in my book. Oh.
Calm down, Elsie. He's just a little kid.
No. Actually, she was hitting on his grandpa earlier.
Well, the grandpa is married, honey. So, yeah. Calm down there.
So yeah, we now have a new location that the movies will be taking place in.
Just this once, though.
Yeah.
They always do. About that, Topsy. And they will rise from the ocean on the 7th day from which they came missing, for they are the Lord's and your Savior. Sarah!
You guys are all shitty parents, you know that?
Okay. To be fair, their kids snuck off while they were sleeping. Like, it's not like they slipped away while they were wide awake or anything, unlike a certain other pair of parents that I could mention. And like I said, at least these kids do it for non-selfish reasons. Unlike a certain brand of pups I can mention. Ah, what a triumphant moment. Call me!
Will there be a character named Tommy in this series?
I don't know.
think so.
The Land Before Tommy. Will he ever come back to this place?
Yes!
So, yeah.
Good. This is where we live from now on.
Yeah, this is my big issue with the movie. Aside from the T-Rex stuff, everything involving Chomper and the parents is fine. But yeah, when it comes to the actual main plot of our main characters and their parents, all this movie did was just move them from one valley to a different valley. Like seriously, seriously, remove all of that crap and make this movie entirely about Chomper and his parents. Like seriously, none of the non-Chomper stuff was really accomplish anything. That's the thing. This movie has a hint of good stuff with the parents and Chomper, but everything outside of those three is just, what was the point of this? Oh, and eventually the valley goes back normal, and now we can get back. So there you go.
Wait.
See?
And that's it.
Yeah, the status quo has been reestablished.
I
Next movie.
literally did not remember them actually moving back to the old Great Valley.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, do we ever go back to that one? But you said no, but then this bit comes up.
Well, that's the thing, Dubs. It's just like briefly. It's literally at the very end of the movie. Oh, and by the way, eventually the valley held up and they get back. See ya, credits.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, look, that aside, I'm still glad to see that this movie is... Okay, it's not amazing, but I'm at least glad to see that young me wasn't really an idiot for liking this movie, because no, I still feel like this movie holds up well enough. And like I mentioned, this movie actually has its own original score instead of shamelessly taking bits from the original movie. Sure, yeah, they got that one motif, if we all hold together, but at least here it feels more earned.
So yeah, that was Land Before Time 5. Like Jova said, yeah, everything involving the Chomper and his parents is fine. It's just that the actual main plot is basically goes nowhere because because we even if they didn't go back to the valley at the very end of it, even if they didn't, all they would really do is just move from one valley to a different valley. This motion picture has been rated for general audiences. Okay.
Again,
General
I mean,
audiences.
complete. Even though they've got a bit of blood and stuff here and there, like
Sure.
You know what? I can appreciate a movie that doesn't go, oh, kids can't handle anything the least bit squeamish here and there. So
At this point, this series should just fucking drop the anchor that is the main cast, and just follow the T-Rex family at this point. So yeah, that was Land Before Time 5, the Mysterious Island, which isn't really all that mysterious, not really.
well, to the characters it is, but you know what? I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed about half of it, because the first half before we get to the actual island, but yeah, when Chomper and his parents come into the picture, it gets better.
Mm-hmm. What about you,
Okay.
Shirway?
It was, I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. The songs are still corny, but, you know, they're not too bad. They're kind of amusing.
Mm-hmm.
It actually, like I said, it actually seems to have some respect for the original movie. I do get where Pedro's coming from about, you know, the taking the musical element out of it, because yeah, it does changed the tone of what this series was. Well, what the original movie, was supposed to be. I imagine this wasn't really meant to be a series, but gotta make that money.
Well, Shiroi, at least you can see I was not misleading you when I said that this is one of the good sequels.
No, you were right.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like Sarah in this movie.
No.
Like I understand that she would she might take after her father a little bit, but I imagined it would be something a bit more internalized instead of so blatant like that. She should know better at this point. And yeah, some of the things she says, like, gosh, even her father was more restrained in this movie despite his outbursts. Like,
Allow me to remind you, Shiroi, that was the whole point of movie 2. The moral of that movie was that T-Rexes aren't as different from the others as we thought.
but according to Sarah, they don't have feelings.
Yep.
That's not good. And yeah, she got a redemption, but it's still no.
It's just so weird. The whole he doesn't have feelings scene feels so out of place. Like, even with Sarah's character in the actual movie itself, too. Like, again, that just felt like we needed to stir the pot there just to exemplify how big her redemption will be at the end, to the point where she's even hugging the adult T-Rex to smile back at her. And I'm like, I feel like it's just that one scene. It feels like it's in a vacuum. Like, not even the whole scene, just the one line feels like it's like it came from something else. Like, maybe this was like, movie 1 or 2 Sarah fine, but nah. The whole he doesn't have feelings scene was just dumb.
I said it during the... Oh.
No, go on.
I said it during the commentary, like during the movie itself. Like, it just... now it's gone. But yeah, manufactured conflict is what this feels like. Yes. Like, I understand, why they would have picked... Oh, no, I know what I was going to say. Like, I'd understand her being apprehensive, but not like this. I would argue. Because, again, like, dietary requirements, are present in this universe. They have to adhere to it. So if she's scared, that's fair enough. But what they did was, again, like me and Jova said, manufactured conflict. And I can understand why they might have picked Sarah specifically because, her father is that way. So, parenting stuff, it makes sense. But they overdid it. They definitely overdid it. But that's my only real problem with the movie. Everything else was actually, it was pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm ready for garbage, I guess, after that.
What about... Well, okay. So you enjoyed of course, obviously, the T-Rex. So what about the main plot about them?
Well, honestly, Pedro, technically the stuff with the T-Rexes is the main plot, seeing as how that's the stuff that takes place on the Mysterious Island, which is in the title. Honestly, the whole looking for a whole new land to be here was more or less... I guess you could argue that one's more of a side plot. Yes, it's the thing that kicks off the movie, but it didn't end up being the main focus so much as, well, being on the Mysterious Island. So technically the T-Rex stuff actually is the main plot material.
The other stuff was a lead into it, and I felt like they did lead in with it quite well, but you wanted to say something, Pedro?
I don't know. It just felt like that's the problem. Like, that's not how you should treat your B plot. It's just a vehicle to get us into the A plot. Like, a better writer would be able to merge both plots better and make them both matter.
I'd argue that it's relatively fine in getting us to the Mysterious Island, and it's not like it gets completely forgotten, seeing as how we do still get shots of the parents worrying for their kids here and there. It still is a plot point that they are looking for a new land here and there. It's just that essentially the main plot is them being on the Mysterious Island.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on.
Nope, that's it. That's all I have to say. Pretty decent movie.
Bibbs.
I mean, it's not as bad as the previous one, but to be honest, I didn't really find this one all that much fun, to be honest. It was the whole, again, I do appreciate at least that the adults are trying to tried to move on from all the racist stuff they were doing in the last few films, but having to constantly keep resetting Sarah back to being a racist, just so she can learn the same lesson every single movie. And that's very disappointing. The songs are about as bad as they've always been in these films. Really, the only highlights were the T-Rexes, and and it takes a while for them to show up, and they aren't on screen all that long. So really, I mean, that's the most enjoyable part. There's only like little bits and pieces of the film across the third act. Everything else was just kind of there at best. Again, I mean, better than the other sequels, but I'm still not exactly going to be rushing to see this one again anytime soon.
Over.
Yeah, no, I found this one a good film. Again, maybe not as good as the first one, but honestly, I appreciate how this one does continue the plot from 2, and if anything, enhances it. Again, as somebody who, well, T-Rexes are my favorite dinosaurs, it is nice to see them given a perspective where they're not just always the mindless villains of a dinosaur plot here and there. And again, the T-Rexes are definitely the best part of this movie. And I feel that even the plots leading up to the Mysterious Island are fine enough. There's stakes. We need to find some place to go, otherwise we will literally die out in the desert with a drought here and there. Fair beans here and there. And the kids, of course, venturing out and actually ended up helping the adults find the proper land to live in. I found that a keen wrap-up, too. And it was nice to see Chomper back overall. And yeah, honestly, for the first time, I'm not even annoyed by the songs. Oh yes, I still acknowledge that they're corny and cheesy, but honestly, I can't get mad at them. They're corny and cheesy enough that I'm fine with them. And hell, even the whole parent song here thing was fine enough. And the heartwarming scenes actually do feel heartwarming. The one major problem I do still have is, again, that line where Sarah goes the bout of, like, he has no feelings. Like, no, even as somebody who likes this movie, I ain't gonna defend that scene. I could get Sarah acting nervous around Chomper and having doubts given how it had been a long time since they saw him. But nah, that line was too far, especially since they'd already started to make nice with him again. And yeah, some scenes do feel a bit stretched out, but otherwise, nah, I like this movie. One of the good Land Before Time sequels, and I wish that most of the movies could have been this good. But alas, they won't all be.
On this, okay, Shiroi, now take a rest because from this for a good while now, we're gonna take a downhill jam.
Yeah.
Oh, we played that Tony Hawk game on the
Great. Awesome.
Now, don't worry, there will be other good ones, but, yeah, you may have to wait until movie 10 for the next good one.
What movie is this?
Movie 10.
5.
Great.
What we're on is
We're
5.
only halfway there.
Well, actually, no, sure. We're not even halfway through all the movies. It's just that, well, between 5 and 10, yeah, those movies are...
No, I know we're not halfway through all the movies. We're halfway through between, 5, 10.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I was referring to. We're halfway to the next good movie.
Yeah. See you for Land Before Time 6, folks.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.